I do not have to face him. He's already been sentenced. He's already in hell, and our work's done.
This is Reporter Room with Jessica Della Davies.
Welcome to Reporter Room, where we seek truth and justice. My name is Jessica Della Davies, and I'm an investigative journalist. Today, we're going to discuss the case of Kylen Schulte and Crystal Beck Turner. Everything I'm sharing with you today is my opinion, and opinions are not facts, so please do not send any negativity to anyone, anytime, anywhere. Let's be decent and kind to each other. The Grand County Sheriff's Office say they have identified a suspect in the murder of a couple camping out in Moab, Utah. It's a fast food worker who confided in someone, we don't know who, that he had done away with Kylen and Crystal. I think he specifically talked about two women and not Kylen and Crystal by name. The Grand County Sheriff's Office has also named the suspect, and his name is Adam Pinkowitz, and he did away with Kylen and Crystal in August. Kylen and Crystal were van lifers, and they were found by Cindy Sue Hunter, who discovered the women were missing after Sean Paul Schulte, who is Kylen's father, crowdsourced on Facebook to get assistance to find the missing newlyweds. Thank you to our producers, Energy Shots and Sasha Angel. Thank you also to our channel members. And thank you to our subscribers. We're almost to 9,000 subscribers thanks to you guys, and I'm so grateful. And before we go any further, please take a moment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up to help out Reporter Room. And if you haven't watched my video series on the Moab murders, you will want to see that next, and I will link it for you in the description below because I go into a lot of detail about Kylen and Crystal and some of the theories surrounding Brian Laundrie. Cindy Sue Hunter, who is my personal hero, discovered that the women were missing after Sean Paul crowdsourced on Facebook for help to find the two women. She found Kylen near their campsite and called authorities because she wanted to make sure she preserved the crime scene. The Grand County Sheriff's Office responded and found Crystal nearby. Cindy Sue also rescued the bunny Ruth, who was still in the tent in a little hutch that Kylen and Crystal had made for her. So Kylen and Crystal both disappeared after spending an evening at Woody's Tavern. They disappeared after telling their friends a quote creepy guy was camping near them. And Cindy Sue did find Kylen and Crystal's campsite in LaSalle off of Loop Road. So both women were found near their campsite in Moab around the same time that Gabby Petito disappeared or was reported missing. In fact, many of us believed at the time that Brian Laundrie may have been involved in this case because Kylen was the cashier at the Moonflower Grocery Co-op on the day that Brian and Gabby had their infamous altercation in the Moonflower Grocery Co-op parking lot on August the 12th. That's the same day that we have the Moab police body cam footage of them pulling Brian and Gabby over after receiving a 911 call about Brian hurting Gabby in the parking lot. So Brian would have seen Kylen working at the Moonflower Grocery Co-op that day because it's a very small grocery store and Kylen was the only cashier on. Although we know that Kylen did not call 911, Brian would not have known that. And this is what led many of us to believe that Brian could possibly be involved with what happened to Kylen and Crystal. The Grand County Sheriff's Office identified Adam Pinkowitz as the suspect in what happened to Kylen and Crystal, and I'm watching my words here, and they released a news press release on Wednesday onto Facebook, and it states, quote, Adam Pinkowitz was a former employee at the McDonald's that Crystal worked at, located in Moab, Utah. It claims Adam was identified at the time as one of the many persons of interest being investigated by the Grand County Sheriff's Office, and that the Grand County Sheriff's Office made numerous attempts to locate and interview Adam. In fact, Sean Paul even picked up a tip about this guy when he was in Moab, Utah. Moreover, sources say that Adam did not pick up his last paycheck at McDonald's, and that is fishy because who leaves a paycheck behind? So it seems like maybe he has been on the Grand County Sheriff's radar for a little bit of time, but police say there's no chance that Adam will be brought to justice because after what happened to Kylen and Crystal, he left Moab and then did away with himself. This has been a relief to so many people who worked tirelessly to bring attention to this case since Kylen and Crystal were found in August. Quote, although Adam Pinkowitz has been identified as a suspect, this is still an ongoing investigation and the case is not closed, according to the Grand County Sheriff statement released on Wednesday. So, police claim that Adam provided specific details that were only known to investigators, and forensic experts are now going through the suspect's 2007 Yaris. Many in the true crime community are not sure what to think, because many are left with questions like, why did the sheriff's office wait until Dog the Bounty Hunter showed up to help, and then they came forward with the suspect? Why would Crystal not just say her coworker was bothering her instead of describing a creepy guy? And clues connecting Brian to the unsolved murders of Kylen and Crystal led many to believe that Brian was responsible. Moab is a small town in Utah with only about 5,000 residents, so what happened to Kylen and Crystal hadn't happened to anyone else, and I'm watching my words, in around 2 decades. Jason Jensen, who was the private investigator hired by Kylen Schulte's father, Sean Paul, told all of us that Brian Laundrie was on his list of potential suspects and then later eliminated him. So initially we were also told that the women were last seen on August 13th at Woody's Tavern, and this was just minutes from the Bowen Motel where police had dropped off Brian Laundrie. And now we're learning that there was footage of the women at a local gas station on August the 14th. We know Brian ran down to his parents' house in Florida in Gabby's van after what he did to Gabby. And in a bizarre move, a little bit before that happened, at the end of August, beginning of September, Brian also went to Florida on August 17th. And this was just one day after Kylen and Crystal were reported missing by their co-workers. The other thing that was strange was Brian Laundrie's parents' attorney repeatedly changed the reason as to why Brian flew home to Florida from August 17th until August 24th. And we don't really have a clear idea of why that is. So I'm with you. I would like to hear more information too, and I really do hope that this guy is the right guy. But I am a little bit suspicious because Dog the Bounty Hunter comes into town and suddenly law enforcement rushes forward to name Adam. Many were initially elated to hear that law enforcement had a suspect, but are still very skeptical of the whole timing, because it does seem convenient that the suspect in a case with a lot of pressure to solve it did away with himself, and he's not here to refute the charges. On the flip side, law enforcement says forensic evidence places Adam at the scene of the crime, and according to the Grand County Sheriff's Office, he confessed to friends. So let me know what you think about this. Subscribe, leave a comment, and hit the notification bell.